returning champion, whose 33-day cash winnings total $1,100,460. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's players. Okay, let's get into the first round, the Jeopardy round. Here are your categories.
Nuclear weapons for 200, Alex.
Iran.
Iran.
What is Israel? Okay, we'll go with the Middle East for 200, Alex.
Iran.
Iran. Who is Iran? What is Iran? Where is Iran?
Who is Israel, who occupies a piece of Lebanon, a large piece of Syria, East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and Gaza? Nuclear weapons, 400.
Iran. Damn it, what is Iran? Who is Iran? Where is Iran? Iran.
What is Israel? Nuclear weapons for 600.
What is Israel? Who is Israel? Israel.
Who are the Arab countries and Iran? Middle East for 400.
Iran. You're getting sleepy. You're getting sleepy. It's Iran. Getting sleepy. It's Iran.
What is Israel? Middle East for 600. What is Israel? Which, by the way, the United States has on more than one occasion gone to war ostensibly to enforce the UN Security Council resolutions. But when it comes to the resolutions directed against Israel, the U.S. is like the immoral monkey that sees, hears, and says nothing. Which, by the way, Alex, this question should be in another category, the United States of Israel, since it certainly raises the question as to who's calling the shots here. Middle East for 800. What is Israel? Former Prime Minister Shamir once led the Stern Gang and ordered, among other things, the assassination of a Swedish diplomat working for the United Nations. Also, another former Prime Minister, Menachem Begin, led the Irgun, which is a terrorist gang that, among other things, blew up one wing of the King David Hotel, killing nearly 100 people. Israel has created a euphemism that the suck-up American press has readily adopted: targeted killings. A British journalist once said, the Palestinians have a talent for picking up bad leaders, and the Israelis have a talent for murdering their good ones. Oil for 200. Alex, here they are in order of volume: Canada, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Nigeria, and Venezuela. So the next time that you hear some politician ranting about how the Arabs control our oil imports, remind him of the facts. By far, a majority of oil imports come from non-Arab countries. The United States of Israel for 200. What is Israel? And Alex, I'd like to direct everyone to my video series on the USS Liberty and an upcoming series on the Lavon affair. In both instances, the Israeli government attacked United States citizens in order to get us to fight their battles for them. As a matter of fact, just last year, the Israeli government honored these Israeli terrorists, calling them heroes, and they gave them medals for these acts of terrorism against America. As a matter of fact, Alex, these two deliberate attacks are absolutely documented and proven. The real question should be, why do so few Americans even know about Israelis' terrorist attacks against America? And you must also ask, what power in the media has kept the American public from becoming aware of Israeli terrorism? And why, instead of responding to such terror with a military response, as every American leader says is the proper response to terrorism, instead we have only sent these terrorists billions and billions of American tax dollars? What kind of enormous power in media and politics could accomplish these acts of blatant betrayal of America? The United States of Israel for 400.
Daily double.
I'll bet it all, Alex. I'll bet that we can take our country back from these murdering thieves. That's easy, Alex. What is the United States? But of course it's not the people of the United States who are the hypocrites, but the Zionist-controlled media and politicians. The American people are simply misinformed by a Jewish extremist-dominated media and Jewish-controlled political establishment. But at some point, Alex, these people need to wake up and take some of this responsibility upon themselves. Every truly patriotic American needs to work hard to prevent this insane and planned war against Iran and the terrible catastrophe that it would be for the American people and the world. Do not let these Jewish extremists lead us into another catastrophic war for Israel, as they have in the Iraq War and in so many others.
Will it never end for this talented young man?
Just tell them the truth, Alex. I'm trying to save lives.